Next on Worcester News Tonight, the second fatal car accident in the city in just 24 hours, this time involving a dump truck. Plus, a second man faces a judge in connection to a fatal stabbing in December. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Worcester police are investigating a fatal accident earlier today in the city. Authorities say a woman was killed after being dragged underneath a dump truck Thursday morning. This is the second fatal car accident in the city within 24 hours. Our Andy Madison has the story.
Not too much traffic goes down this road, so it's kind of shocking to see all the lights down here.
I checked what was going on outside, and I saw all the flashing lights right up the street from us.
A quiet morning in this Worcester neighborhood changed dramatically when a woman walking down the street got caught underneath a dump truck.
It happened quickly.
Police say the woman was walking on the side of the road in front of the truck on Ernest Avenue.
The operator of the truck was detaching a trailer carrying industrial equipment, and as he detached the trailer, he moved forward, and the woman was in front of the truck and knocked her down.
After being dragged several feet, the victim got pinned underneath and was killed. Part of Ernest Avenue was closed for most of the morning while crews investigated the incident. Neighbors we spoke with say it's a reminder of how quickly things can change on a quiet street.
Very tragic. And you worry about your kids. They play in the driveway all the time, and I block it off, but you just never know.
You don't see too much traffic going down this road, so it's kind of really shocking.
The driver of the truck wasn't injured, but was taken to the hospital because he was so traumatized by the event. Authorities aren't releasing many details while continuing the investigation into what happened.
The truck will be towed from the scene and brought back to the police headquarters for a full mechanical inspection.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
A fatal accident in Milford is under investigation. The wreck happened around 3:30 this morning in the southbound lanes of Route 495 just before exit 19. A preliminary investigation indicates a 20-year-old man from Ohio traveled off the roadway for unknown reasons and crashed into the wood line. A passenger, a 22-year-old man, also from Ohio, was taken to UMass in Worcester with serious injuries. A second man faces a judge Thursday in connection to the brutal stabbing of Cherise Hill on Murray Ave last December. The first man was arraigned earlier this year. The second was brought back to the U.S. from Puerto Rico to be charged. Our Brittany Schaefer was in court today and has the story.
27-year-old Pedro Solis pleaded not guilty Thursday in the murder of Cherise Hill.
Not guilty.
Solis was returned to Massachusetts Wednesday night from Puerto Rico to face the first-degree murder charge.
I definitely think he's guilty, because if he was not guilty, he wouldn't have fled.
Solis was arrested June 17th in Puerto Rico. A warrant was issued for his arrest back in March. Solis allegedly stabbed 31-year-old Hill 19 times.
It's just sad. How can somebody stab a woman 19 times?
Several members of Hill's family attended the arraignment. The victim's mother, Priscilla Walker, says she is thankful for the Worcester Police Department's help, but would not comment any further.
Job they did in getting this guy and bringing him into custody. That's all I need to say right now.
There's nothing that can replace that family member, but at the end of the day, the culprit is caught, so they've gotten some form of justice from this.
Solis is being held without bail and without prejudice. His case will continue on August 23rd.
He'll be held without agreement, without prejudice at this time.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Another crime has been reported related to the recently popular game Pokemon Go, the most recent happening in Worcester. Police responded to the area of Stockholm and Cornhole Streets around 7:30 Wednesday night for reports of an armed robbery. Two men in their 20s told police they were sitting in their car playing the game when two other men approached them. Players we spoke with in the city say the game is fun, but they are aware of their surroundings.
Been pretty cautious, haven't really played, much at night or in places that I'm unfamiliar with because of that reason.
The suspects allegedly pointed a gun at the driver, then stole a gun, cash, and car keys. The driver was then allegedly struck in the head with the gun before the suspects took off.
Areas where it can become a little bit hazardous, I think that's where the concern arises for the general population.
Well, we had some storms today, but not enough to make a dent in the drought we're having. Shrewsbury's Board of Selectmen has voted to enact additional water restrictions in response to a drought declaration covering most of the state. Our Cam Jandro spoke with the town's Water and Sewer Department superintendent and has more on what residents should do.
We have to protect the water for the purposes I said a little bit earlier for drinking water and fire protection there.
Shrewsbury issues additional water restrictions this week. Effective immediately, residents are banned from watering lawns and topping off swimming pools. Bob Tozeski is the superintendent of sewers and water in Shrewsbury and says the dry conditions are unusual for the area.
I would say this is probably the longest that I've seen. We had very little snowfall starting, so we've had 4+ months of below average precipitation. You can see it in the streams. You can certainly see it in groundwater levels.
The restrictions come after the Office of State Energy and Environmental Affairs declared a drought for central Massachusetts and several areas across the state. Residents we spoke with say they're not panicking yet, but it's definitely getting worse.
Definitely we could appreciate some rain. I think we need a few days of solid, steady rain instead of a little few storms here and there. All of our lawns are definitely dying.
You know, it's not ideal, obviously, but I love summer. It's my favorite season, so I like it hot and sticky. Then I go swimming, so it's good.
According to the town, water levels in Shrewsbury are 6 inches lower than normal. Last month, central Massachusetts received only 1.7 inches of rain, and Tozeski says residents need to follow the restrictions.
But primarily is to limit your outdoor water usage and your indoor water usage too. And any unnecessary usage of water is certainly much appreciated, because the lower we have to pump each day, the less impact it has on the groundwater levels and our groundwater supply.
Now, residents can water their gardens, their trees, or their shrubs, but only at certain times on certain days. The information for this can be found on the town's website, and there is currently no timetable set as to when the ban will be lifted. Olivia, back to you.
All right, Cam, thank you for following that. Meanwhile, the drought has put a heavy burden on many local farmers trying to make a living. Chris Cloninger reports from Davidian Farm in Northborough.
There's been little rain since June 1st.
This is how dry it is with no water. You can see the wind blowing it away.
Ed Davidian owns his own farm in Northborough, but he's also the president of the Massachusetts Farm Bureau. He talks with other farmers every day. Since the spring, the topic's been the drought.
This is really getting dry, and the biggest fear is some people will be running out of water.
This part of the state is running nearly an 8-inch deficit. In 1985, many farmers switched to drip irrigation, cutting down on water usage.
Basically, what we have here is we have a drip pipe here that lets the water out through little slits in it, and it comes out very slowly, and then
mud right there.
Yep. And then what it does is it migrates through the soil underneath the piece of plastic.
This drip irrigation system will deliver about 2 quarts of water per minute to each row of tomato plants.
There are some crops that you cannot do that with, and you have to stick with the old conventional sprinklers.
Expect to pay more this summer for those crops, like large fields of sweet corn or beans.
So if they don't pass the cost on, if people don't pay for it, you're going to have some that will cease to exist, and there'll be houses going up instead of a cornfield.
If all goes well, Ed Davidian will be planting corn in this field. For now, it's a little too dry, but he's not very optimistic for an appreciable rain in the near future. For Worcester News Tonight, I'm Chris Cloninger.
Police in Charlton are having a little fun trying to find the owner of a black bear. Take a look at their Facebook page. One of their followers sent these photos, and officers decided to have a little fun with it. The bear was spotted on Tuesday in the area of Tucker Road. The Facebook post says the animal did not have an identification collar and asked the owner to have the bear properly secured and licensed. UMass students may have to brace for higher tuition fees come the next school year. The university's Board of Trustees is meeting in Worcester today to discuss a possible hike. Officials say the UMass system is facing an $85 million budget shortfall after failing to secure the level of state funding it had hoped for. The expected increase would be anywhere from 5 to 8%. Just last year, fees were boosted about 5%. Young adults from different parts of the city come together at a local park for a game of hoops. The program is led by some officers from the Worcester Police Department's gang unit to build a relationship with some of the kids they see while out patrolling. Our Patricia Nicholas has the story.
When they aren't patrolling the streets, a group of Worcester gang unit officers are taking it to the court.
Come out and meet the kids. We get kids from all different parts of the city, so it's a great program.
The Police Athletic and Activity League basketball program has been running for the past 18 years. During 2 10-week sessions per year, teams organized by youth agencies around the city are coached by members of the Worcester gang unit.
It's a great league, and they all come out from all different parts of the city. They get together, they get to spend time with each other, so there's no issues, and it works out really well.
The league allows the kids to see the police in a different light. Sergeant Stephen Roche, or Coach Roche, as the kids call him, says it's a great way to build a good relationship between the community and the police.
So they'll see a guy that maybe is their coach, on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and maybe the neighbor doing something else on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or Saturday.
So far, the program has been well received by the community.
It's important to get the kids off the streets, because we already have these shootings and stuff that, it's already bad, and we kind of, take kids away from that.
It shows awareness that the police want to earn our trust to the community, earn our friendship and partnership.
It's just a way to get away from everything else.
Patricia Nicholas, Worcester News.